to their menu to protect staff and patrons from armed robberies. McDonald's is installing DNA spray technology in their stores, a move that will link thieves to the scene of their crime.
Late at night, a McDonald's worker is helpless as two masked men, armed with knives, crawl into the drive-through window demanding cash. In a separate incident, a man is punched in the head in a crowded restaurant, his mobile phone stolen. Attacks like these have shown McDonald's that CCTV is no longer enough.
We now have another way in which police will be able to trace you back to the scene of the crime.
SelectaDNA will be rolled out to McDonald's restaurants around Australia. If someone commits a robbery, staff can trigger the synthetic DNA-based spray from a hidden location. As the robber leaves, they're coated in the substance that can't be seen or washed out, but will be there for weeks. It's visible only under ultraviolet light and will irrefutably put the criminal at the scene of the crime.
It has huge teeth behind it, and that is actually what deters the criminal from coming here in the first place.
That's a relief for staff, often working around the clock.
Everyone feels much more secure having you here.
Criminals looking to target shops and homes in the run-up to Christmas are being warned to think again as Merseyside Police launches its successful Operation Aquila campaign. The Liverpool-wide operation aims to reduce business robberies and house burglaries by giving shopkeepers high-tech devices such as smoke cloaks and doorway sprays, which fool criminals trying to steal from them. Last year's operation saw business robberies in North Liverpool reduced by 52% and in hotspot neighbourhoods by 45% compared to the year before.
It has been in the past a really serious problem, and particularly North Liverpool, South Sefton would have been areas blighted by these crimes, businesses driven to desperation because they're so repeatedly burgled. And what we see as a result of this, that not only do the businesses see the burglaries stop, the people who commit the crimes know that if they come in to a business that's protected in this way, they're likely to be covered in a spray that they can't wash off. And although it can't be seen, the police can then use it to detect whether that person is the one who committed the burglary.
What happens is if an offender goes into a store and the device is activated, it will spray a fine mist on them that they may or may not even know has happened. That spray will remain on them for some considerable time, and it basically can't wash it off for a number of months or weeks. Everybody who comes into custody in Merseyside is tested for this spray. The spray is unique to the location that it's actually the offence has taken place, so therefore we can trace it back to the offence location and therefore question you in relation to that offence that's occurred.
Og så herhjemme usynlig mærkningsspray kan forebygge røverier i detailhandlen. Det slår politiet nu fast efter at man har gennemført forsøg med den her slags spray i en lang række dagligvarebutikker herhjemme.
Først så viser rapporten, at det her med usynlig mærkningsspray, det reducerer personalets utryghed. For det andet, og meget vigtigt er, at det viser jo også, at der er en stor kriminalpræventiv værdi i det her usynlige mærkningsspray. Det er godt nok et lille forsøg, men det viser sig faktisk, at op til 65% kan udsatheden for røveri reduceres ved at bruge det her.
Og med os nu har vi butikschefen Kenneth her fra Netto. Hvordan har det her anlæg virket hos jer?
Det har virket rigtig, rigtig godt. Vi har oplevet fra 2014 op mod 2015, at vi har over halveret antallet af røverier, og yderligere 16 indtil videre er 20% lavere endnu. Så det har haft en kraftig nedadgående tendens, hvilket vi selvfølgelig er rigtig glade for.
Hvordan har de ansatte taget imod det her hos jer?
De interne undersøgelser, vi har lavet, viser også, at de ansatte er rigtig, rigtig glade for det og føler sig mere trygge ved det. Og derudover så vandt vi i 2014 arbejdsmiljøprisen for hele vores Næsto Care setup, som handler om tryghed for alle vores medarbejdere generelt. Så meget positivt.
Employees at an East Knoxville convenience store have been feeling a lot safer the past few months after a new security system was installed to prevent robberies.
We're talking about Lee's Food Mart on Rutledge Pike in East Knox County. Now, that store robbed 5 times in just 6 months, but now a complete turnaround.
New at 5, WATE6 On Your Side reporter Kristen Holloway spoke with investigators and store employees about the impact the security system is making.
Of the 6 armed robberies we've had here, we've been able to solve 5 of them with arrest, but we would rather not have any, and that's what this product's brought us.
Lee's Food Mart was hit with 5 armed robberies in a 6-month span, from last November to this April. However, the store hasn't had any robberies in 6 months. So what's changed? A new security system called SelectaDNA. It's a high-tech forensic marking liquid to tag personal property. Store manager Jessica Greer tells me it's a huge sigh of relief.
Well, before, when the robberies were happening that closely together, it was kind of emotional, and every time my phone would ring, it almost heart-stopping because I didn't know what happened this time. And now when my phone rings, I don't have to have that worry. I know that it's just my employee calling in to ask questions versus feeling unsafe.
Chief Lee Trammell with the Knox County Sheriff's Office says the way the store is set up with 3 different exits makes for an easy target.
If they do choose to come in and try to rob this place, you know, we're kind of looking forward to that, because we'll be able to put them in a penitentiary using this product to actually put them on the scene through forensics markings.
In Knox County, Kristen Holloway, WATE6 On Your Side.
Now, Lee's Food Mart isn't the only place using this new technology. KPD tried it out in a North Knoxville neighborhood, and property crime there dropped 70%. A Knoxville Subway restaurant also using that SelectaDNA system.
Surrey Police is cracking down on thieves and burglars. Every suspect we arrest in Surrey is routinely scanned for traces of ultraviolet dye. Ultraviolet dye is used to protect shops, businesses and homes within Surrey. The dye stays on your skin and clothes for months and months. It links you to the scene of the crime. It's forensic evidence you can't argue with. So thieves and burglars, watch out. You cannot hide. Commit theft or burglary in Surrey and you will be marked.
Police have used what's known as synthetic DNA to convict a bank robber, the first time it's been used in New Zealand. Clive Mackay robbed a branch of the BNZ after threatening to blow it up. Police say he only confessed after they told him he'd been forensically sprayed as he fled. Simon Shepherd explains.
Clive Mackay walked into BNZ's Manukau branch in January with fake hair and a fake bomb and demanded $200,000. Branch manager Aaron Jones says the bank was full of people.
We need to treat every case as it being real. So whilst I had those 35 people, I also had their families, and one wrong decision could have been catastrophic.
Mackay only got away with about $150, and while leaving, he was sprayed with synthetic DNA, microdots that identify each branch. Mackay fled in a taxi, where he took off his wig. Posting that footage on Facebook led police to identify him, but Mackay wouldn't confess until he was told about the forensic marking.
When that marking became evident on him and it was explained to him, that was the tipping balance, and he effectively told us everything he'd done.
The marking only shows up under a blue light and was first deployed by the BNZ 5 years ago. Yet the suppliers say this is the first time it's helped get a conviction.
Because of the deterrent factor, ultimately there's been a lot less crime in these areas where we have deployed SelectaDNA, so there hasn't been incidents where we could actually get a conviction from it.
Forensic marking is not only being used by the banks, it's also being used in petrol stations like Z, in the warehouse and even at McDonald's across the road.
Mackay's proceeds from the robbery didn't go far. He took one taxi to McDonald's, then caught another home. Today, they came with a hefty price, 6 years jail. Simon Shepherd, 3 News.